Wild O on air with Choice FM.
Now, do you ever get nervous? Are you single? I heard you fuck your girl, is it true? You getting money? You think the niggas you with is with you? Then I say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Looking right, alright.
Alright, that was Drake. And I have Linda in the studio here to talk to me about her magazine. So, we'll start with introductions. Tell us about your magazine.
Well, I'm Linda Molager. I'm a student at Wilmington Grammar.
Alright.
And I've just recently produced a magazine called Underground Unleashed.
Okay, so what kind of genre is it?
It's a hip hop, rap, and R&B music magazine.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Lots. Okay, that's good. That sounds good. So, can you tell me about your audience? So, obviously, you came on the show to talk to your audience.
Yeah.
To try and get more people to buy your magazine.
Yeah.
To promote it, sort of. And we always love having guests on here, especially with new exciting ideas. So, can you talk me through your main page, like your front cover, I should say it. I'm not really up with all these media lingo, I guess. Tell me about your main focus for your front page.
Well, my front page was mainly focused at like an everyday kind of hip hop listening kind of target audience.
Alright.
Like a social group. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so can you tell me like the language you used when you were creating the whole magazine?
I use mostly colloquial language. Like I use words like Toyden goes ham, and I use a lot of swear words inside my double page spreads, and I just kept it simplistic, because people don't like a lot of big words being thrown at them. You want something that you feel you talk like every day.
Alright. Yeah. Sounds like a mazza, really. Did you use any specific, design features in your magazine? And if so, why did you do it? Okay.
Well, for my double page spread, I used marijuana leaves as design elements.
Okay.
Not because I did it myself, but because it related to what my artist was wearing.
Alright.
She was wearing a marijuana dress, and after researching it into different hip hop and rap artists, they usually always say in their lyrics how they're on cloud high, how they're buzzing, and how they're over the moon and stuff like that. Just little pics at being high, but so my target audience isn't like oblivious to this. They listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
They sing the lyrics, so they know what is being implied. Yeah.
Okay, a bit of 420 going on there. But okay, let's talk about your contents page. So you said something about like a double page spread or something. How did you try to target your articles in your magazine to suit your target audience?
Well, the articles in my magazine were things like concerts, upcoming concerts, Beyonce tickets, things like that, Nicki Minaj gossip, and things like Kanye West, and all that kind of things, like gossip, like that my target audience will want to read about and hear about. It's just like popular names, like they would see on my front page and be like, oh, that's my favourite artist, and then open page and read about it.
Well, it's a good thing you came on Choice. We love B and Drake and all those. Okay. So let's talk about your layout. So I think usually when I see, for instance, business magazines or like the Standard or whatever, you have like, they're really like straight to the point. You see those straight lines, sharp edges, trying to they just treat like the target audience, it just gets it bam bam bam. There's no beating around the bush with them. And so can you talk us through like what you did with yours, because obviously yours is all urban and
well, my format for my contents page is very in your face.
Okay.
Like the font I used for my headings is very bold.
Okay.
It's a serif font, and it's very blue, and I elongated it and made it bigger so that it looks very, very big in comparison with the small detailed text underneath it.
Okay.
and so that when the audience open it, they look at the headings, and if they don't want to read the brief descriptions, they see the page numbers next to it, and they automatically know where to find, oh, Drake, no, Beyonce baby gossip, Nicki Minaj nip slip, yeah, all those shitty things, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, you have two very good looking girls on your front cover, you know, and that was the first thing I noticed, because obviously, you know, African American women, you know, we love to look at people, and if they're attractive, then you notice it.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing that attracted me, per se. So can you talk me through why you picked those models as your front cover, and how do you think they related to your target audience? Because it's all about them, you know.
Yeah. My models for my front page, it was quite difficult picking, because I had a competition actually.
All right.
And 5 girls auditioned to be the face of my front page, if you say. And I needed 2 girls, and there was two of them called Toylan and Jasmine, and they auditioned, and they seemed to be friends, and they were really familiar with each other. They could work with each other. When I paired people up, they were really good together. They seemed like a duo, and that's what I was looking for. And also the hairstyles that they currently had was very, it fit in with my target audience, because it's a very ethnocentric kind of hairstyle, and that's what my target audience usually emulate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So we have a bit of like those braids
up. Yeah, braids up.
Love it. A bit of like Solange, a bit of
Solange, and
a
bit of Beyonce and Alicia Keys. Yeah,
all these beautiful ladies, and Brandy as well.
Let's
not forget Brandy.
Yeah.
Oh, how could we? Okay, let's talk about the pricing of your magazine, because obviously we're going through kind of like an economic crisis right now, and you know, target audience, young people, they don't really want to spend a lot. They don't really have a lot of disposable income. So let's talk about, you know, how you priced it, and what made you choose the pricing for your magazine.
Well, when I was researching into like magazines and their pricing and their page numbers, I noticed that monthly magazines usually had the prices around £4 to £5, and I thought that was ridiculous, since I'm trying to target an urban 16 to 24 years old audience, and I was like, they could not simply afford this kind of money per week, per like any time really. So I was like, I would make my magazine a weekly magazine.
Okay.
And I would have 66 pages.
Okay. With
enough information that they needed for that week.
Right.
And I would price it at the price of £2.60, something affordable.
That's
a lunch. That's one lunch money, like for half a day.
All right.
So it's very reasonable.
Yeah.
It's affordable.
That's
what I wanted.
Not skyrocket prices. You know, not like GQ
or Q magazine. Yeah.
But you've got to admit, they have got good-looking people on there. You know, it's worth it sometimes. But obviously,
but most of the time, magazines such as Q and GQ, they target an older audience.
Okay.
Someone who have a steady income, someone who don't have to rely on someone else to buy them things. So I would try to differentiate myself.
Oh, all right, fair enough. You make good points. You make good points. Okay, so Okay, so I feel like I'm talking about your front page a lot, but you know, it's like it's the first thing you see, you know.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the fact that you chose not to use what people would say are real life artists. Well, not real artists, because obviously we don't see Drake on the cover, we don't see Beyonce on the cover, we don't see like Kendrick Lamar. You've chosen 2 people who,
are fairly known,
fairly known, but they're not like wow, like stadium.
If you listen to my other interviews, you would know that UU stands for Underground Unleashed, which relates to the idea of up-and-coming artists being released into the music industry. So therefore, to other high-end people, they would say, oh, these are not wow, jam artists. But if you really went on the streets of urban places, you would notice that when you talk to the target audience there, you'll notice that they see these artists as being wow, and because they target issues that are everyday issues.
Yeah.
They're like more down to earth, so they prefer listening to them because they're so relatable to them. That's why I've kind of dressed them a bit plainly.
Yeah.
So also, it also conforms to like hip hop and R&B clothing,
Yeah.
but it's a bit more toned down. So
yeah.
it gives a sense of equality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you don't get all those like over the top Lady Gaga outfits,
Lady
Gaga. Me, oh my goodness.
Nicki Minaj
Yeah.
and all that, yeah.
Though she's mellowed down these days, you know.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. Still waiting for her crazy side to come out again.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your inspiration for the magazine. Let's discuss. Well, I'd like you to tell me if it's not too much trouble. What other magazine you kind of emulated when you were creating your own?
Oh, that was Vibe.
Okay.
XXL.
Okay.
The Source.
All right.
And Enemy.
Do you want to go into what these magazines are? Because I haven't heard of a few of them. Obviously, I know the Vibe and stuff.
Yeah. XXL, Enemy, and XXL, Vibe, and The Source are basically hip hop, rap, and R&B music magazines.
All right.
And I emulated them because when they target a lot of my my social target audience, obviously.
All right.
And I decided to pick a few elements that I would like to focus on. Like their gradient background is very eye-catching, and so I decided that I would like to have a gradient background, but make it even more by using bold colours like light blue, dark blue, and blue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do see a lot of blue in yours, but I love blue, so it's all good for me, I guess. Obviously on your target audience too, because those are the ones that are important. Okay, let's talk about your research and how this helps. So how did you find addressing and attracting your audience? I mean, I know it can be easy and hard for some people, but do you want to talk to me about that?
Addressing and attracting my audience.
Your target audience.
My target audience. Well, with the cover lines on my front page, they're quite like shiny and creative. Like I put, why is Nicki so embarrassed?
Okay.
So everyone will know that Nicki is Nicki Minaj. They'll be like, oh my god, why is she so embarrassed? They'll want to open the magazine and see what could be embarrassing this big bright celebrity.
Yeah.
And I also put, Beyonce talks about baby Blue Ivy.
Yeah.
And that is a very big issue.
Yeah.
Like that's a very big thing that it's been a buzz. Everyone's been talking about her new baby after the other losing the baby scandal. Everyone's so happy to see her have Blue Ivy, so they'll want to read about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I vaguely remember from, I don't know what interview it was, but I vaguely remember someone mentioning something about UK tribes or something. So do you want to talk about that I think it's a research thing. I don't know what the
UK tribes is amazing. I used it for a lot of my research. Because UK tribes looks at different social groups in society, and they have an urban segment where they categorise urban social groups into trackies and Get Money crew. And trackies are basically people who wear tracksuits, obviously, and like to chill with their friends on the weekends and listen to rap and hip hop music. And Get Money crew are like young entrepreneurs that not only listen to this hip hop and R&B and grime music, but also want to make this music as well. They want to emulate it. They want to be those artists they inspired.
Okay, so a bit like Alan Sugar and say 50 Cent?
Yeah,
like mixed together.
A mix together, yeah.
Alright, that explains it. Okay, so I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think that's the interview. It's been really lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
And Choice listeners, I'll be back to you next Wednesday, where we'll be talking to Beyonce about her new baby, Blue. Obviously, speak of the lady herself. This is Beyonce's XO. Have a good evening, Choice listeners.
Baby, kiss me. Before I turn the lights out.